Hey everyone, so I wanted to make a tutorial on how to implement walking into Narrative Pro. It was really simple to do because it essentially copies the crouch ability. You'll see if I start jogging and I hold down control, my character will start walking. Upon release, carry on jogging. But I thought I'd showcase too how to add it to the settings menu under the gameplay, where you have this toggle option. Upon saying that's true, if I now just press the button, I'll walk. Upon pressing it again, I'll jog. So it's super simple to do, so let's find out how to do it. So here I am with a fresh install of Narrative Pro. Narrative has a tutorial already on how to set this up into a project. So you can find that video on the Narrative Pro YouTube channel. I thought what we could do first is look at the crouch ability because it's already set up in the gameplay menu by default. And walking essentially copies that. So you can find the crouch ability by going into the plugins folder, Narrative Pro, Core, Abilities, Gameplay Abilities, and then the movement folder where you'll find crouch. It's a super simple ability where if you go into class defaults, the input action has a tag assigned to it, which is this. This is the tag over the ability, and you cannot do it if you are busy, dead, or locked on. Upon the ability being activated, you'll get the game user settings, cast it to the narrative version. You'll check if it's toggle option. You'll set that to a variable. You'll get your narrative character. You'll check if you're crouching already. If it's toggle option, it will end the ability. If it's not, it'll wait for you to release the button and then end the ability. You'll see these two functions here. Just call this function here, where if you want to crouch, you'll tell the character to crouch, or otherwise uncrouch. It does nothing on end ability. So now we know how that works, we can go ahead and start getting walking implemented. So first thing to do is probably to add an input action. As I say, this essentially copies crouching, so I thought what to do first is actually copy the crouch input action. If I search IA crouch, you find it here. I thought I'd just copy this over, and I'll copy it into my content folder. I'll add a input folder, actions, and copy it into the. Rename this to walk. Upon loading that up, it's essentially a plain input action. It's just this one piece of notice at the bottom where it lets you toggle which button you want this to be mapped to. So I'm just going to change this to walk. And the category it comes under is movement. Now that's implemented, we can go back to the folder we got it from, and we're gonna add it to the input mapping context. The key I want it to be assigned to is control. However, control is already mapped to an ability. I think it's this quick use items. So I'm just gonna change this to something else like B, maybe. Going to add a new mapping, which is walk, and just map it to control. Save that. Next, we're going to open up this DA default ability inputs. Just going to add another one for walk. The input tag is we need to make one. You'll see it has sprint and so on, but there's no walk one, so we're going to just add one. Input, we're going to add a subtag, narrative input walk. And just set that to walk. So I think the next thing we'll go ahead and do is copy the crouch ability over. So I'm just going to search for GA crouch. I'm just going to copy that with Control C. I've already created an abilities folder with movements, and we'll just paste that in there, and we'll rename it to walk. So we'll open that up. First thing we'll do is change the input tag to the one we made earlier. Remember, that's walk. I'm going to remove that asset tag. So the first thing it does is get the game use settings, cast it to the narrative game use settings, and then calls the C++ function. So we will get that. You can find that under your name of your project. It's plugins, Narrative Pro, source, narrative arsenal, public, Unreal Framework, and it is the narrative game user settings. So if I just search in here for crouch, you'll see that this is the function it calls should crouch toggle. There. So we'll take both these functions and we'll just copy them below. And anytime we find the word crouch, we'll just change it to walk. And here's the actual ball. Again, we'll just copy that and just change it to be walk toggles. And we will go back up and we need to generate the definitions for the walk functions. So we'll just go ahead and generate a definition. You'll see these are super simple functions. In set should crouch toggle, we just set the ball to the value passed in. So be walk toggles will now be this value here, and we will return the boolean itself here, be walk. Return be walk toggles. And that is it for the C++ side. I'll just save all. Close down the project and recompile. So once you've recompiled and you're back in the editor, just go back into the ability again. So instead of calling should crouch toggle, we're going to drag off that pin and do should walk toggle. Can delete that. We'll just promote this to a variable. Walk toggles. Keep that as is. Now, the problem here is that in the character movement component we don't have a is walking. Okay, well we do, but this is the movement mode. We don't want this because we're always in walking mode near enough, except for maybe like falling. So this isn't really much use to us. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to get the only character and we're going to get has tag, I believe, has matching gameplay tag. Tag to check is this slow walking here. Next it goes into these functions, so we'll just come down here, create enough custom events, set walk, This has a input pin of walk. If you hold B and left click, you can create a branch. Now, we don't have a kind of walk or unwalk function, so what we're going to do instead is get the owner character, I believe, and do a apply. Okay, no, I guess we don't need that. Apply gameplay effect to the owner of this ability. So if you do want to walk, we're gonna actually apply gameplay effect. Let me move this out of the way. So we're gonna create a gameplay ability for this. So we'll just go close to this. Create a new blueprint class of type gameplay effect. Call this GE walk. And this is going to be super simple. All we're going to do is add a component, do a grant tags to target actor, and the tag to grant is slow walking. Change this to infinite. And we're just going to do walk. Ignore this force walk, we don't want that, we just want this GE walk. Right, to a variable, call it walk handle. And if we don't want to walk, we're just going to do remove gameplay effect from owner with handle. And we're just going to pass that handle in. So we don't need that anymore. So here we're just going to do set walk. Do the same thing again, but tick that's true. We are going to get walk toggles, which we set earlier here. If it's true, any ability. If not, wait input releases. We're going to do set walk again here. That's unticked. Then any ability. We can get rid of crouch toggles. I believe that makes it then for this function, or the gameplay ability. So we can exit out of that. Okay, now I actually forgot to grant the ability to the player. So what we're going to do is go to the all folder and search for CD, which is your character definition. I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to get rid of the shooter one. I don't really want to use that. You can have this if you want. I'm just going to use the RPG one. I'm going to open that up. And default abilities. We're just going to use GA walk. So you should notice now upon spawning in, if you hold control, you will now walk. Perfect. So let's go ahead and find out how to add it to the gameplay menu here. So what we can do is actually use the widget reflector for this. I think if we go to tools, debug, there is a widget reflector here. If you just pick this pick hit testable widget, let me go into gameplay instead. And you'll see here, it shows me exactly what I'm highlighted over, which is this. So this is what we're looking at here. So there's this crouch toggle here. It looks like it has the ability to changes this to be whether it wants to be off or on. Let's open this up. It gets game use settings again. It gets that same toggle option. And it says combo index, which is what we saw just. Here are the combo options and the index of it. So, and then upon being clicked, it says whether to set it to a toggle option or not. So this is going to be super simple to add. We're just going to take this here, we're going to duplicate it. Because it's in a vertical box, it will go into the next slot below it. So we'll change this to walk toggle. Call it walk toggle. We do want the option to have off or on, so we'll leave that as is. Quickly save, go back into the graph. And we're going to take this and just move this over. We're going to get the narrative user settings again. Should walk toggle. And we're going to get the setting set combo index to the value of this. Exact same thing that's happening here. I'm going to drag this down. We're going to get this on combo settings changed. So if we go back to the designer, get the walk toggle button, scroll down, you'll see there is this on combo setting changed. Click that. So it's the exact same thing, just for the walk. We're going to get the narrow view settings. Set should walk toggle. And pass that in. Compile, save. Okay, let's spawn back in. And here we are. So if you hold shift and then escape, you'll open up the pause menu. Go settings, gameplay, and here you'll see your walk toggle. If we set this to on, apply, you'll now see I just have to press the button to enable it. Press it again, and we'll jog. Try one more time with hold. You'll see if I press it, it does nothing. If I hold it, we start to walk. Also, narrative comes with this cool feature where if we go to input, you'll see it's there, walk. We can change this to B for, actually I used that earlier. Change it to H. Hope that's on maps. Back. Okay, duplicate key binding found, fine. You'll see though it's remapped to H. Control no does nothing. So I think that's it for this tutorial. Hope that helps, and good luck developing with Narrative Pro. Thanks.